The Delaware Mid-Cap Growth Fund is making some big bets on small caps. It's edged out the Russell 2000 over the past 12 months. Joining us now with some of his reopening picks is Alex Ely, CIO of U.S. Growth Equity for Macquarie and manager of the Delaware Mid-Cap Growth Fund. A little small, little mid. Alex, what is particularly promising, you think, in this space?
There's a lot of promising things. I mean, the economy is about to reopen. The pandemic is going to end. So there's a variety of different trends that we're seeing in a host of sectors that are levered towards that reopening that we're particularly excited about.
Why Planet Fitness?
I think that the number one thing people want to do right now is get back out there and interact. I have kids in their early 20s, late teens. They can't wait to get out there and travel and go to restaurants and interact with people. And part of that is going back to the gym. Another part of that is most people have gained weight during the pandemic. So I think people are going to want to get back out there and exercise and see other people. And, you know, working out from your home is fine and all, but I think people are going to want to go back and do that again.
How much of this is sort of like a win-lose situation? You tell that story about Planet Fitness, I think, well, that's bad for Peloton. Can you go through and think about, well, what's bad for DoorDash and look into the restaurant experience space as well among the small and mid caps as an area where there's promise?
Yeah, you can. Absolutely. Peloton's a great company. They've created a fantastic model, but they're going to be annualizing very, very difficult comps as we get into the summer and into the fall. Whereas if you look at a company like Planet Fitness or those restaurant companies that you mentioned, they're in a terrific position to benefit as things reopen. People want to get back out there, and they will as soon as everyone gets vaccinated. Biden's telling us every adult should be able to be vaccinated by the end of May. I don't think that will happen, but I know a lot of people will. And definitely going back to restaurants is a part of that.
I see Coupa Software here among your top 10 holdings. That's an interesting name. I was just talking to Rob Bernstein the other day because they focus on spend management. Is that to some degree a reopening play? Do you think there's going to be that challenge as companies have to spend more on things like travel that they haven't spent on perhaps in a while? They're going to need to manage that differently?
There are a lot of other reopening plays that are more geared or more levered to the reopening and the economic cycle than Coupa. Coupa does do expense management, as you mentioned. There's a real secular trend at play here. This has been growing and growing for years and will continue to grow going forward. But I don't know that it's levered towards reopening as much as it is just a great secular play.
And how do you look at healthcare related stocks during this time? How have they been affected by the period that we've been in? And why are the ones that you think are positioned well so well positioned?
When we think about healthcare, the area that we're most excited about are those companies that are levered to procedures. Procedures have gone up pretty much every year for the past 40 years, but they were down by 10 to 15% last year as people were reluctant to go to the hospital, reluctant to see their doctor because of the pandemic. Well, that's going to end pretty soon. And as it does, people are going to go back and get those procedures done. So we have companies, as an example, something like Progeny, which sells fertility benefits, which should see a bump up as people get back out there and get those procedures done that they need or want to do.
So yet another, flip side of another story that's being told. We've heard a lot about telemedicine, but some things you can't get done over the phone or over the webcam. What about what's happening in logistics and the surge of attention toward air freight as so many companies try to get supply chains moving again or have experienced canal backups? Is there anything to pay attention to there?
Well, we don't own any companies specifically in logistics, but definitely those are deep cyclical companies that'll benefit from the economy reopening. It's really going to be an exciting time. We're expecting generationally high GDP growth in 2021 and into 2022. Those companies that are involved with logistics should benefit directly from that cyclical strength.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.